back to Footy SA. Let's have a look at the SANFL now with our Farmers Union Iced Coffee SANFL update. Magnificent day of football yesterday. Remember, it's a Farmers Union Iced Coffee or it's nothing. As we take a look at the results of the round of football, a big upset yesterday was South Adelaide. Too good for Port Adelaide, winning by 17 points, and then Glenelg winning by 8 points over the West Adelaide Football Club. So a big results there in terms of the upset. And then today, North Adelaide against Norwood, Sturt against Central Districts, and Eagles still to come against Adelaide. And the ladder, as it looks at the moment, is getting really, really interesting. Port Adelaide on top of Sturt, Eagles and Norwood. But Port now 4 losses, and South back in form now with 8 and 7. North still there as well. So plenty of action to get through for the rest of the season. But it is really hotting up. And no doubt about it, it was a result that no one saw coming yesterday.
Well, an important one for South Adelaide, Hutchie. They have kept their finals hopes alive. They've got 3 tough games coming into the last 4. I think they're playing against some of those top 4 sides. And even the result with Glenelg yesterday, beating West Adelaide, that's hurt West Adelaide in terms of their finals hopes. But I think keep your eyes open for Central Districts. They could be the late boulder in this. They've got a fairly good run home, but the North Adelaide-Norwood game will have a big impact as well today.
Interesting result with the Port. No John Butcher, whether he's crook, someone's saying he's crook, or maybe have a week off. We know he's struggling with his form and his confidence at the moment. The other one too, no Mitchell and no Amon. Word is there could be a late change for Port Adelaide in the power, so they've pulled them out and they'll travel, so there could be some sickness going through that main group.
And that would have affected them, obviously, to have 2 or 3 significant players.
I think, Fender, the knock on the Port Adelaide and Adelaide is when they lose a couple and get injuries, they're exposed because they don't have the depth. And that's been the one that, once their A team's there, they're going pretty well and they're very strong. Do you see that the same? Yeah,
very much so. And, you know, what can actually happen? I mean, we've seen it a little bit with Adelaide, who through the year have had some, you know, significant injuries to their list, and I think that's had an impact. Port Adelaide, not quite as much. They've had a fairly good run through the year, and now we're starting to see when you drop those 1 or 2 players out, how quickly though that margin's gapped.
And word reaching us that John Butcher definitely in hospital with a stomach bug, so that's it's glad. I'm not glad of that. I'm glad it didn't not play because of his
if you're struggling,
issues.
if you're struggling because of your confidence, then you don't want to miss a game.
Get himself well and reload. Now, the South Australian Hall of Fame during the week, magnificent occasion. There's no doubt about it. And putting South Australian royalty out in fashion. It is a wonderful cause, boys.
Yeah, it is, and no bigger name in Adelaide through the 90s than Tony Modric. Chad Corns being inducted, Matthew Primus, former power skipper. The Gowans boys, they were the entertainment on the night, talking stories about their dad and and all the little bits and pieces. Daryl Hart, so Timmy Pfeiffer was phenomenal. So that was, I think they were doing it every 2 years. My understanding is they're even looking at doing it potentially every year now because there are some great names and they don't want anyone to miss out. Yeah, look, they're big nights in footy, and you know yourself, Treaders, just coming off an AFL Hall of Fame, but you know the same impact in South Australia. Great to see those names, and you know we've mentioned the great Phil Gallagher, who's been around for a long time, just to see those guys, and it's an enormous privilege for them and a great night.
Tell us quickly about the Gowans twins and what sort of legacy that they leave in South Australian footy.
Oh, on Triple M Radio, they're on it every week. So they get the boys. They are brilliant. They even to a stage where you talk about culture of a football club. They came over, and the old culture from guys that missed out and played AFL systems. They'd come for money and come for a couple of years. These guys stayed for over 10 years. I think they won 9 premierships. They are just A-grade people. There are even players at their club who were struggling with personal issues. They'd employ them in their carpentry business, their building business. They'd get them involved. They'd pick them up. They'd make them go to training. So not only are they doing the little things, they're doing the leadership things, and that's why the Northern Suburbs and the Central Districts Footy Club have embraced them unbelievably well.
Yeah. Don't underestimate, Hutchie, just the impact they've had on SANFL footy. They've been the face of SANFL footy for the last 10 years, and it's just wonderful to see, and they're 2 terrific young men.
I still can't tell which one's which.
Our Farmers Union Iced Coffee medallist this week is, and don't forget, of course, $5,000 up for grabs at the end of the season for the player that's voted the hardest working, determined, and has a win at all costs attitude. And this week's nominee is Clint Alloway of Glenelg boys, who's had a terrific season. Former North Adelaide captain, one of the most experienced players going around.
Yeah, Ken Rooster goal too. He doesn't mind. He can finish beautifully like there, but he's one guy in the competition. If he's lining up from 60, you're going, he's a real chance of putting it through the big sticks.
Yeah, he's had a really decorated career. He started off at Box Hill. He came out to North Adelaide. He had a real impact, and it's been good to see him, support Glenelg when they've had a pretty tough run. And having that experience is important.
These are the nominees so far. Looking forward to seeing how it pans out for everyone in the coming weeks as it hots up in the Farmers Union Iced Coffee Medal. Plenty more to come. Calling some local footy next, right here on Footy SA.